It is well said that first we make our habits and then the habits make us. I am Priyanka Chakraborty from Aravali International School, your host for the night. I am proud to be serving the Anon Global Foundation as an intern from the content writing team. And I would like to thank everyone for joining in.
अपनी सांसें थाम कर नहीं रिलैक्स होकर बैठिए because from here the show begins. I am your co-host for tonight, Manya Jetli from Kalka Public School, Alaknanda. I am proud to be a part of an on radio team as its team lead, and it is an absolute pleasure to have all of you here. Welcome to the third episode of Anon Ki Paathshaala Season 3, a series where we discuss life skills in a way that leaves you inspired, empowered, and wanting more. और आज का टॉपिक हमारे पेरेंट्स के डायलॉग्स में हमने बहुत बार सुना है। आदतें सुधार लो अपनी। ये डायलॉग वो हर रोज रिपीट पर बोलते हैं, पर कभी ये नहीं बताते सुधारे क्यों एंड द मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट सुधारे कैसे।
अब हमारे पास हैरी पॉटर की जादुई छड़ी तो नहीं, but we have with us Mrs. Nandita Sankara ma'am, Principal, Delhi Public School. She is not only an inspiring leader but also a strong pillar of education and discipline. Ma'am has been a guiding light for countless students, always encouraging innovation and values, with a passion for holistic development and a vision for empowering young minds. मेरा मानना है अच्छी आदतें अपनाने के लिए उन्हें पढ़ना भी जरूरी है. So ma'am, without any further delays, please go ahead. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Priyanka and Manya. Thank you so much, Aarti and Ms. Shami. Purti, thank you so much for having me over. I think first and foremost, let me congratulate all of us on the 79th Independence Day. Very importantly, I think as students and as mentors, I think both of us occupy this wonderful platform of Anon Ki Paathshaala. I think Dr. Aarti Giridhar, whom I know for many, many years now, we work together in the same institution. And from there, I think this wonderful platform that you've created along with your core team means a lot. Because I think education has no barriers. And like what you said, with the changing times, changing expectations world over, are very, very demanding. So I think I would just like to ask a few questions to the children. Maybe I think you can post it in the chat box. Did you ever come across by saying that, oh my God, why study at all? So this $1,000,000 question, why study good habits at all? I think the very fact that the first institution that you entered, that's your parents' arms. That's the first institution. I think that's where the smiling started. Consciously or unconsciously, a lot of things that you started learning. And this $1,000,000 question that says, how many of you have this thought coming in your mind, why study at all? I think study should not be viewed as something which is bookish. And end of the day, of course, it means a lot because for students who are going to school, end of the year, it is the assessment that matters a lot. Yes. How many of you actually joined because you want to do better in life? Or you wanted to do better in your academics? You wanted to do better, develop a lot of good, study habits. So any emojis coming up there? Okay, fine. So yes, to begin with, I would say that success doesn't come to you. You've got to get it. It's freely available. It's freely available all over. Success for each one of us means totally different. Success may be, writing very neatly. Success can also be getting an A grade. Success can be moving from that, 30% to 40%. Success may also be a small little pat from your parent. It might be, just that smile that you got from your teacher, or probably just that, feel good factor that could also be success for you. So remember, dear students who've joined here, all of us are gifted in some form or the other. We are gifted with everything that is available on the table. It's for you to choose what is right for you. And very importantly, I'm sure you have a dream And let's see how the dream would probably turn into a habit. If you've been trying to do better at school, or you have not been doing well for yourself in school, let's look at changing your habits now. Now is the time. And how do you change it? Why do we need to change it? It's very important for us, each one of us, to understand. And very importantly, when we look at why change, how to change, why to develop, why not to develop, I think the mantra lies in you, each one of you. If you think the present times are very difficult, oh my God, why do I have to study? Why do my grandparents or parents keep on saying that this is important, this is not important? But believe me, the real world is much more hectic than what you actually presumed it to be. Yes, with the responsibility that you are going to come at your end from every direction. With those healthy habits in your life, believe me, you can manage all these much better. Just a few of you had expressed that, why study at all is $1 million question that often comes to your mind. And I'm sure as young teenagers, many of you probably had a big argument, and often every day you have an argument with parents or teachers, and heart in heart, and you have that peer talk. The peer talk where you say, oh my God, what a bore. But believe me, dear children, it's very important for us to understand this is constructing a base and a foundation. That's it. And further to that, what you do beyond, how you do it, how you want to channelize it, everything is going to add value. That small little lump of clay that comes into the hands of the parents and children, that's been given a shape for itself, and it goes to a lot of hot treatment for that wonderful teacup to come out from the furnace. It has gone through a lot of hardships and all that. But then when it's being shaped in a right manner, we know it's beautiful to further take on. Believe me, it's not just the grades alone that means a successful student. No. It's about what kind of dream that you have, whether it's through learning your academics or your hobby that you have for yourself, making friends or exploring new experiences, or probably becoming a good human being, becoming talented, or you possess that talent to become a good sports personality, or it could even be your, painting that you have, it could be music that you have. So a success need not necessarily be only grades alone. However, talking about, the study habits, importantly, your subjects, dear students, we have to have that catchphrase. Very importantly, the lifestyle that can help you manage the real world better. I think that is what has to be developed now at a very, very young age. I often, speak to many parents, and I keep telling them that the kind of studies and kind of subjects that we had probably when we were kids are much lesser than the kind of competitive world that the present generation is going through. Yes, there were lesser distractions in our era. And in the present world, there are too many distractions to be coped up by the student. And yes, that is a kind of mental stress that the child is going through or has to prove himself or herself. And I think if you as a student, you as an individual, if you've identified what is that small little mantra that you have, that success mantra that you want to employ, because no two members, including not even the identical twins, can have the same success mantra for themselves. It is very, very unique, and you are very, very unique personality on this earth. And I definitely will give you a couple of, examples that I've had over this 30 years of my, span of my stepping into education field as a teacher. And yes, with heart and soul, I would say that as a teacher, I have been able to touch upon, thousands and thousands of children, and been very successfully able to change the mindset of many students who said, why me and why not me? Because in this competitive world, many a times you do feel that, why is it that I am not in that? Why should I be in a rat race? Why should I require to be there on top? Why am I down the line? There are a lot of questions as a teenager or as a student that crops up into your mind. But it's very important for you to understand, if you have dreamt for something, if you have a focus, it's fine to have 4 to 5 different dreams or ambitions in life, dear students. It need not be one. You don't have to make up today. You don't have to make up your mind whether you are going to take up legal profession, or you're going to take up civil services, or you want to be a photographer. It could be developing a website. You want to become an advertiser, or you want to get into fashion industry. You want to become a model, or you want to become an actor. You want to get into research. It could be anything. Have the dream. It could be anything. It may change, doesn't matter. It's good to have those 4 or 5 different kinds of dreams for yourself. Only then you will be able to focus on achieving it. You don't have to start studying those medical books today or legal books today to become a lawyer or to become a medical professional. No, you just have to have your own syllabus to be checked. Believe me, it goes through a lot. CBSE and ICSE and all the curriculums that are existing around the world, they are time tested. You would have seen your language, chapters or stories in your textbooks for your second language or even in English. आपने देखा होगा कि इसमें जो स्टोरीज हैं वो टोटली डिफरेंट. कई जगह आपको ऐसे लग रहा होगा दैट यू कनेक्ट सो वेल. आप बहुत अच्छे से इसको कनेक्ट कर पा रहे हो. ऐसे लगता है कि शायद आप ही हो उस कैरेक्टर में. Believe me, a lot goes in, a lot of in-depth study has happened to bring in these kind of very, very highly motivational, stories for all of you. So therefore, dear students, it's very, very important for you to understand that study habit is actually a recurring practice. Again and again, you do it. Believe me, when you are a little baby in arms, when you started that first word, ma or pa, from there, your parents were repeating again and again a lot of words. And that's where practice made you perfect. And that's where you started learning, hearing, assimilating, and repeating it. And a lot of times when you fumble and you probably couldn't pronounce the words properly, and I'm sure your nanis and dadis and nana nani and dada dadi, all of them made an effort to make sure you were able to pronounce the words very, very well. And this is where I feel that to improve your academic performance, it's good to memorize a few things. You don't have to rote learn without any logic, but yes, self-management and a lot of anatomy, of a student, creating a lot of awareness for oneself about correct educational practices is very, very important. Do you have to break those wrong habits that you have? And do you want to really build those good habits wherein you want to develop a very, very good study habit pattern for yourself? And I think you should imbibe a few of these tips. Students, you don't have to. आपको सब कुछ लेने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है. आप जस्ट कुछ चीजें अपने लिए imbibe करिए. अपना मंत्र you can analyze. You can identify which are those areas जो आपको अपने अंदर assimilate करना है, changing करना है. But very important, it will happen, dear students, only if you decide. आपको decide करना है. See, none of us can compel you. Right? You are at a stage where you can definitely, आप अपने choices कर सकते हैं. Definitely you do require a little bit of help. It could be from your teachers and it could be your parents and sure enough that it can be from your friends and too. So, but you have to make take a decision whether you want to break those wrong or bad habits that you have and you want to build those good. I think conscious effort from inside has to be done. That's why I said all of you are born gifted. All of you are born gifted in some form or the other. Yes, all of us also go through a lot of challenges. Few of you probably, have good handwriting. Somebody is good at something. Very importantly, so often I do tell the parents when I have the orientations for parents by saying that please don't stop just because you have the annual examinations coming up. Don't stop their regular, probably dance classes or music classes. Reduce the frequency. That's it. It's very important. It's a part and parcel because you enjoy, because you are good at it. Don't do something that you have to, take up unwillingly. Only when you're very happy with, taking up that particular task or a skill, I think only then you will be able to enjoy yourself, dear students. Yes, becoming a very highly effective student, it's not very difficult, but at the same time, it's not that easy. It's not at all easy. Like I said, you're already gifted. So to become that, one doesn't have to be an ideal student. I often tell my students that, I've been a very naughty child, but I explored a lot as a student, as a child. It's good to explore. No, nobody wants a child sitting in the corner of their own room or, back in the classroom, calm and quiet and not doing anything. But rather, it is good to be that active and a kinesthetic child who can move around. It's good to explore. But remember one thing, you have to be very, very consistent. You have to plan a lot of things, set a goal for yourself. I told you, have a dream, have an ambition. It's fine to have something that may not become possible or may not even be taken up in future, but have a dream for yourself. And often I keep telling that don't postpone anything that you have a plan, nice plan in hand. Yes, they may be emergencies. You may not be able to live up to something that you had planned out. It's fine. It's okay. There's always a plan B. Alternative plan has to be kept. And nothing is difficult. Nothing is difficult. Yes, there are these small little pain points. Yes. And looking at it, always identify which is the subject that you feel is a little difficult for you and which is the one that you really enjoy and you are meant for it. Everybody cannot be good in mathematics. There are specific, the mind process, the cognitive mind and the critical thinker and the critical and creative thinking mind. Those who are that, you may be the language and arts, you may be artistic, you may be good in performing visual arts, and you may be very, very good in your writing skills. And mathematics and sciences, it's not necessary that somebody is good in mathematics have to be very good in languages. I'm sorry, you don't need to be. You're meant to be slightly different. Yes, meant to be, in a different perspective altogether. And obviously, you have to consciously avoid a lot of distractions that are around. So, of course, I'll go into this in a little detail. And yes, study habits are definitely meant for self improvement. Who doesn't want to be successful? Everybody likes to be appreciated. He wants to be successful in whatever task that you take up. A good study habit that your friend or a sibling has cannot be the same for you. Because you are very unique. Your friend may be able to just study a couple of hours. Your younger sibling just studies for an hour, is able to, do very well academically or in any task. And probably you need to study for a couple of hours because your levels of concentration are totally different from the others. And this definitely you have to identify what is that unique technique that you require. And believe me, these study habits develop a good personality for you, for a success, for life, to get a pat on the back, from your parents, your peer group, from your teachers, everybody that cares. Yes, you have to have a very good personality. That's why, right at the beginning, I said it's not just the grades that matter all the time. But yes, grades do matter in developing a good, confident personality of yours. And very importantly, when we look at other arenas, yes, it definitely is, important for us to look at the assessment or the examination point of view. End of the day, it says that it percolates down. Whatever Nandita ma'am talks about it today, whatever your teachers or your principals back at home, back in school, your parents speak at home, I think everything percolates down to the academic performance. And believe me, dear children, all the boards, be it CBSE, IB curriculum, or international, or ICSE, or IGCSE, any of these curriculum percolated down with today's scenario. There are many, many options where you can showcase your talent in different manner, because like CBSE has come up with holistic progress card that gives a lot of options to the other things. Probably, of course, I will not go into that detail, but I want you to understand, this is my very, very favorite and a very, very favorite, quote: healthy habits are learned in the same way, just as the unhealthy ones, through practice. It's very good, very easy to get distracted. But I also feel it's not that very hard to maintain the, good learning healthy habits. Very important. Once it is set, it's like, waking up in the morning, and then, there are these series of, tasks that you do, if you have this as a good, healthy study habits, believe me, sky would be the limit for you. Generally, they say to remember and recollect something, whatever you have your teachers teach you in your classrooms, reiterate that within 12 hours. Within 12 hours. Further to that, within 48 hours, you have to repeat it once again. And that within 48 hours, it has to be a written task. And further to that, by the weekend, that is on a Saturday or a Sunday or during your holidays, you have to reiterate whatever you have learned. And the fourth one would be within 10 days. And if you reiterate, many experts over the different spans across the world have come up with a strategy that say 21 days it takes for you to develop any kind of habit, and for it to seep into your system as a regular pattern, you definitely require 66 days. Just imagine magic that these 66 days can do in throughout your life. If you have this habit of waking up early in the morning, it becomes a habit throughout your life. And try doing this consistently for 21 days. Half the battle is won. And further to that, take it further on to 66 days, a habit is formed for life. And I don't think it is very difficult for you to, make it possible. Initially, of course, you might find it very, very difficult and, boring, but you do require some incentive for yourself. Keep a target, and I think you just put a green tick mark there to say that this is done. And that goal being achieved truly will, remain with you throughout your life. Don't you think, achieving your goal, what you've always desired, is worth the initial struggle? Remember, I told you have a goal for yourself. And I also said keep a, target, have an ambition. It could be smaller targets. You've achieved, let's say, just 40% this time. A smaller target could be reaching 50%. Next target could be from 50 to 60%. Or it could be just finishing this subject by this weekend, or you add on. I think the smaller targets, trying to be very, very over ambitious at times can, disappoint you drastically. It can disappoint you. So, but then if you struggle initially, those baby steps, if your parents had given up, when you fumbled and you slipped and fell down the first time and they put you in the crib for, the child is getting hurt every time the child is trying to walk. Believe me, you wouldn't have been what you are today. But I think that initial struggle and the concentration, channelizing your own energy, holding that hand for a few days and months together, I think you became independent. And in a similar manner, if you struggle right now for those few, months and days, take my word that you wouldn't regret. So, what are you waiting for? Start now and start immediately. Do you also find at times you're very lethargic, you're very lazy, confused, and you're at times blank? You're bored, distracted, and overthinking with the subjects like science and SST. Oh my God, with the assignment, the moment the assignments are there, history is a big mystery for some of you. Yes, mathematics at times you feel math phobia. Oh my God, I think this is not my cup of tea, is something that you would have often felt. Yes, good. So, yes, it is true for many of people. This is common for everybody. Don't worry. We don't have to have a strict dictum. एक chart paper बना लिया and उस पे tick mark करना है. It's not necessary all the time for everything. But if we don't have a pattern, and I think this is where you land up into, if there's no pattern. Look at the sun and the moon. It follows its own, thought process, right? It's not going to give up on a single day. So is the earth and the moon. So is the nature. Can you also try to analyze what kind of figure do you place yourself into? Totally confused hai, itne sare books rakh liye. You have postponed everything for days together and you've landed up having so many notes to be completed. Oh my God. 10 o'clock in the night, 11 in the night, you open the books and you say everything seems to look Greek and Latin. Why does it happen? A lot of postponement, lot of procrastination. Boredom sets in because the chapters back in school have rushed somewhere and you seem to be lagging nowhere. So these are like building blocks. Good habits are like building blocks. Very important. A lot has to go in because these good study habits will remain with you for lifelong, not for a few days. You think that by becoming a principal I've stopped studying. No, there are a lot, because I need to cater. Every year I have new set of students whose mindset is totally different. Their expectations are different. The skills that need to be born are different. The goals that they set for themselves is different. So I cannot just, confine myself and say that I know everything and that's it. No. So dear students, very important, you need to manage your time. You have to set a goal for yourself and self-discipline. Very important. Come what may, you have to have a regular pattern. By adopting all these small little habits, be very consistent. Believe me, your academic journey will be very, very fruitful and it will be favorable towards you. And if at all, I do have a few parents here seated along with the children. Dear parents, I want to put it across. Please do not compare your child with anybody, not even your sibling. देखो बड़ा अच्छा कर रहा है, छोटा देखा, छोटे को देखो, छोटी को देखो, she is doing better than you. Please do not do those, use such kind of words at all, because your child is totally different. They have different talents. But yes, whatever they have probably scored earlier, if they can move up by 5%, believe me, even 3 marks compared to 2 to 3% more than what you scored earlier, I think is definitely going to add a lot of value. Time management you have to have. Be it for your playtime, be it for your hobby time, be it for your eating. You cannot do two things together, eat and also watch the TV. You cannot do 2 to 3 things. TV chal raha hai, music chal raha hai, with a lot of lyrics and all, you want to study. It doesn't happen. You have to have a slot for yourself. Why do you think that 40 to 45 minutes periods are there in the school? किस लिए रहते हैं? It's all time tested. Block your time. Yes, on a Saturday evening, and Sunday morning is meant for your outing, or helping your parents out. You want to go with your friends or whatever. You keep that time, but it is very, very important that nothing should overshoot. You have to have certain control over yourself. Very important. So use a lot of active reading strategy. And one thing, reading, sitting on the bed, if you think you can hold a mathematics ka textbook and physics ka textbook and sit and read, sorry, it doesn't happen. There are certain subjects where you have to write and write and write. Yes. Set a lot of realistic goals. Like I told you, if you are a 40%, a 50, 60%, suddenly you cannot think of becoming a center. Yes, it is possible. It's not impossible. I've had students who were very, very mediocre in their academics. Believe me, they reached centums by the time they reached grade 12. It's not very difficult. But at the same time, there were children who had scored almost single digits. They never went beyond that. ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स को भी हमने चैनलाइज किया है, and we were able to, by motivating them with realistic goals for themselves. Yes, short term goals, 2% in the next exam, 5% to increment. Okay, long term goals, obviously you have to have 25% increment. Have all those as smart goals. I've done a wonderful session for my students of grade 9 and 10 in my school, where, a lot of, specific, measurable, and, very accountable and very approachable, time targeted goals to be set for themselves, I think, and prioritize which is the subject. Often, we have this habit of, I'm fond of English, and I'm also fond of sciences as a subject, though I'm good in mathematics, but I'm fond of sciences, and especially biological sciences, and, English. So I often have this habit of picking up that subject first, and I'm very content and happy, and I push that difficult subject to the end, and that's it. And by then I'm so bored, I'm so exhausted that I feel it impossible to, pitch in. That's when I feel lethargic, I pile it up, and then I just fall asleep on those books as though knowledge is going to get into my head. But then, dear students, if you categorize them, important and very urgent, next day's test. So obviously, परसों एग्जाम इंग्लिश का है, लेकिन आज बैठ के आप इंग्लिश कर रहे हो, नेक्स्ट डे मैथमेटिक्स है. नो, doesn't happen, doesn't work out. Important but not so urgent. Okay, not important but urgent. Not important and not urgent. If you categorize and prioritize as per this, and also you can alternate. See, when you feel that, let's say physics is very difficult for you, and you're fond of, yes, let's say social science, you can begin with social science as, maybe for 40, 45 minutes of your studies, and then you alternate with a difficult one and close with the easier one. Take my word, you will enjoy it. Or else you can reverse it. Why don't you start studying with a subject that is most difficult? You feel, oh my God, such a bore. Ye padhna zaruri hai. You can start with that subject, and then you move on to the subject that you're fond of. Believe me, you'll be able to balance it well. Create a very suitable environment. Don't have a very noisy place. Don't have a noisy space. And when you know there are too many distractions, it's okay to face the wall. It's fine. Yes, it could also be pace around the room. It's okay. I keep telling the parents, if your child has the habit of reading it aloud to study, let them listen to their own voice. It's okay. But yes, while others work better with some kind of background, it can be a soft music, but no lyrics. No lyrics at all. Not those, heavy drum beats. No. Soft music, I think it's fine. Only if it doesn't distract you. But where to study is very, very important. Is as important or to as what to study and how to go about studying. Yes. And remove this habit of sitting on the bed. If you, I keep telling my students also, if you're so fond of bed, kitab ko rakho aap book bed pe. You have a small little stool there. Sit on the stool with the back straight. Believe me, it'll add a lot of it. Take little breaks. You see, not more than 20 to 25 minutes if you're sitting alone to do self study. Then you take a small break of 5 minutes, and that should be just to hydrate yourself, visit the restroom, and come back. And then, you sit down. So keep those solid 2 to 3 hours. And if you're a young teenager yet to get into, your first board exams, and you're getting into your board examinations, you have to increase the, the spacing, and obviously, and of a cycle of every 2 sessions. Let's say you sit down for 40 minutes, 45 minutes for a subject, take a break of 5 minutes, and you start another one, and then you take a break of 15 to 20 minutes. It can be your snack break. Please do not sit there and keep snacking and studying. It doesn't happen. With too many, it distracts you. Your physical health is very important. Definitely very, very important, and don't overdo yourself. Yes, do treat yourself with, that extra additional snack that you prefer, but don't overlook your health. Using technology wisely, very important. You know that your notes are coming online, it's fine, but don't get so distracted. Have a control. Have a control on yourself. So what you're watching is very, so you have to watch out how you're getting, totally dragged by Instagram or, your own social media. We don't say no, but there's an age limit. Very importantly, I'm sure the parents would have, or Anon is going to definitely take you on a stride for, yes, cyber safety, very important. So as a practice, you need to learn to switch off something. SOS should be the mantra. Switch off something. That should be switching off your phones or, any other. You going through your, notes, what your teacher has sent. See, for switch off the notifications. It's fine to keep it out. Put it on do not disturb mode. Very important. I think that will help you out. And this, I think I've just told you, that review and revise a lot of session. You have to have the self-test, test myself series, revisit the old notes, get back. So whatever is being taught in the class, you've reiterated within 10 to 12 hours, reiterated within 48 hours, reiterated within a week, reiterated within 10 days. Take my word, it enters your permanent memory. Your textbook should be your mantra. If you're an average student, just go by the textbook. Do not add those additional guides and, God knows what all books. They are not meant for you. I often tell my children, just throw it. It's just a waste of money. Waste of money. I've had this a couple of students. The other day, I had a parent walk into my office, requesting me, ma'am, can you just help out my child? He's in a total doldrums. Class में भी वही बच्चे, tuition में भी वही बच्चे हैं. And I said, एक school में है, and दूसरा school आप tuition के school में जा रहे हैं. What are you going to achieve? And in fact, the tuition school is much expensive than the school. And I said, can you stop all those things? And I just asked the child, what exactly is the trouble? He says, ma'am, these are the two subjects that I'm little, not so very bad, but they are my trouble and pain points. And I asked him, what is your ambition? He says, I want to become a big officer. I said, okay, fine. Will you give away a few hours of your, evening to me? I said, yes. Believe me, the child stays back in school till 5 p.m. on his own. Look at the self-motivation that the child has got. So I think if you start developing, you have a goal for yourself, it'll become very, very easy. And a lot of active writing, note taking is very, very important. You have to have your own mind map. When you study, create your own mind map. Rewrite, make those small little notes, annotations, you underline, take a highlighter and you put up a highlighter, very importantly. And I think a lot of summarization. It's actually better to clarify the doubts initially, be it with your teachers or with your parents. Ask your siblings, older siblings, and definitely somebody who's guiding you back at home. Otherwise, just make a note, add a slip or a bookmark, come back and ask your teacher rather than hampering your overall. If that doubt remains, believe me, that doubt only grows bigger and bigger like a virus. Yes. That's why I said seeking help when needed is very important. Don't brood over it. Don't try to usko और लंबा चौड़ा मत करिएगा because it'll just grow as a virus की तरह. You have to approach, clarify your doubts, then never hesitate. There's something I don't know. Quite a few children are very hesitant. That's why I said never underestimate your potential. So be mindful and be very, very focused. Because see, retention happens only when you are consistent, when you're focused. Distraction कहीं और है, किताब खोल के रखा है, and if you're trying to fool yourself, end of the day when you sit down at 10:30, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, काफी बच्चे बोलते हैं मेरे से, ma'am, till 1 o'clock I sit and study. Then I ask them, when do you sleep? Ma'am, we sleep at 1 o'clock and wake up in the morning. But I said, when you wake up in the morning to go to school at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, isn't your body totally tired and exhausted? How much do you study? You keep that book open in front of you and tumu, you'd be falling down and sleeping. It doesn't help you. Let's say if you're a night bird, you study in a peaceful atmosphere when nothing is, functioning. It's okay. It's good. You may be a night bird, but catch up with a couple of hours sleep, maybe at least an hour sleep when you go back home from your school. Otherwise, best would be early in the morning. You wake up an hour early, quickly have, completely, you need to be ready, brush your teeth and everything done. Bring that cup of milk or whatever that, energizes you. Maybe a fruit, just a banana, or maybe, drink milk with some rusk or biscuits. That's not your breakfast, by the way. Yes. Sit down for solid 1.5 hour in the morning. During that time, believe me, our scriptures say Brahma Muhurat. Okay, when your mind is supposed to be fresh and open, you can develop. So integrating a lot of study with real life scenario, very important. A lot of self-regulation, regular self-assessment is important. Test Myself series, a lot of quizzes. Ask your teachers to send a few questionnaires to you. That's fine over the weekend. Test yourself. But if you develop these good study habits, regular study habits, take my word, everything is possible. You can have different methods. You can have audiovisual, and you can, of course, group study and peer group study system has its own advantages and disadvantages, but regularity and consistency. It's like exercising your body. You're exercising your mind. Just like food for thought, खाना खाना है for the energy. Likewise, you have to have regular, consistent effort to have that. Engage all your senses. Okay, you have your own style. Like I said, you can walk and pace around. यहाँ से वहाँ आप चलते चलते, you want to read aloud, you want to write down, you want to silent read, you want to listen to your own voice, anything. Okay, but a lot of reflective. You have to have, an understanding that the main concepts will obviously help you. Underlining, that's why I said, always prepare for the next class. So if you're done, you're very, very good in your academics and you are that, aced and topper kind of a thing. Always prepare for the next class. It's good. Not because you want to prove that you're smart. It's good. You never know what kind of questions that you may land. A lot of, let's say, procrastination. Aapko postpone karna. It didn't happen today. You are a little, not so in a, mood to take this further on. It's okay. But then procrastination also can be very, very constructive. It should involve, another task. Okay, आज आपको mathematics नहीं करना. Oh my God. 2 दिन की छुट्टी आ गई, जन्माष्टमी है कल, मंदिर जाना है, सब कुछ काम करना है, परसों संडे है, लेकिन मैम ने बोला इतना सारा होमवर्क दिया है, सो आई एम गोइंग टू सिट डाउन टुडे एंड कंप्लीट लेट्स से साइंस। मैं तो माय गॉड नॉट टुडे, आई डू इट ऑन, कल नहीं किया तो संडे। Yes, but in its place, do something that can be compensated. You can always swap, no? इसके बजाय वो किए. So that's why I said when you have engage all your senses, you can be visual, you can be oral, you can be verbal. You can be a child who moves around. You want to sit with your sibling or your parent. Okay, somebody. Yes, you could be anything. You would like to be all alone, solitary. It's left up to you. So visualize a lot of techniques because picturizing, that's why memory games are very, very important. Yes, mind map is very important and that improves a lot of. In fact, I always tell my children, Sudoku karo, and why don't you try solving this crossword and all? It sharpens your brain, actually. Yes, if at all you're a child who is musical, likes to listen to music, it should be very soft music without any lyrics. It actually prevents a lot of distraction, or potentially it wouldn't put you on a wrong track. Yes, studying with friends as a buddy program, teachers may put you into your study groups and things like that. It can be successful within a lot of terms and conditions. Yes, friends can keep each other accountable. You can ask, "Acha, aapne kitna kiya?" Don't land up sitting on the phone throughout. Okay, did you complete this for every 1 minute? No. Next day morning, you can always meet your friend and say, "Did you complete this chapter? What you planned? We planned for it together. Okay, let me ask you a few questions." You can always say that. Motivate each other accordingly. But working in a group also helps reinforce knowledge, but it can have its own major drawbacks. So just watch out, dear students. So yes, I've come to my final thought on good habits for students. Whether you're trying to build a good habit or break a bad one, like I explained earlier, try to make your student years more enjoyable and easier, because the life ahead has so many opportunities. The skills and the professions and the careers that you are going to choose, take my word, are not even available in today's world. तो हम पढ़ क्या रहे हैं अभी? What are we studying? Why are we studying then? Whatever you study today, the textbooks or the subjects that you've taken up today are a building block. So believe me, I did not study computers when I was in schooling. I did not have computers at all, and I'm sure your parents did not. A couple of parents may be very young, they would have had. लेकिन हमारे पास तो I did not have computer science as a subject when I grew up. When I was in schooling, I did not have. How do you think I'm so very good? Believe me, there's nobody helped me with this PPT. I've done it myself. So this was because the kind of subjects that I studied when I was in schooling, I was so diligent. I had a regular pattern. I had the zeal to learn a lot of things, and I'm able to do it. When we were in school, we were just entering into college. We had only two options: science and arts. Commerce didn't even exist as a subject as such. But today, we have so many design thinking and what not other subjects. So imagine, dear children, when you grow up, there'll be a lot of subjects that don't even exist today. So whatever you study, these new professions and careers will evolve out of that. Yes. So thank you so much. To be a successful student, you have to have a very good study habit. That's important. And I'm sure what you have planned out for yourself, if you have a dream has to come true. And only you can work towards it. Nobody is going to. Yes, take help. You have school counselors. Let's say you feel very, very low. It's good. Don't have that stigma. अरे क्या काउंसलर के पास जिसका दिमाग खराब होता है वो जाते हैं. No, please. Remove that from your mind. Do you know what is counseling? When you have an argument with your sibling, who helps out? Your chacha or mama, or even if it could be one of your parents. That is counseling. आपने किया ना ये शैतानी? नहीं, चलो sorry बोलो. Do you know what is that? That is what is counseling. So a professional is doing it from their point of view. Yes. Yes, it's very, very important. Okay, your school doesn't allow you to go to the counselor, but I think probably you'll have to put it across to your principal. Very important. Counselor is very important because many a times what happens, the children to escape from the classes. I've seen, because I'm the principal, I know at times children just want to escape from a particular class they need to. So why don't you take a slip or something from your teacher? You should go and meet the counselor. It's very important because help yourself. Help yourself. Otherwise, yes, Aarti ma'am, you and me are there. I think we can help out these little ones because end of the day, I think identifying your potential is very, very, very important. Yes. So I'm sure self-help. Self-help towards a successful life. Don't compare yourself with anybody. You're very, very unique. आप बहुत specially create गए. Okay? Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Priyanka and Manya. Thank you, dear.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Your words were truly inspiring. I must say that my decision of hosting this particular session proves right. Just now, ma'am, I have one question if you don't mind me asking.
Yes, yes.
What's harder, starting a good habit or breaking a bad one?
See, starting a good one is not so difficult. Breaking the one that you already have, it needs a lot of guts to say that I'm not with it. I'm not with you. It's not so easy. It's easier said than being practiced. Let's also be very practical at it. Like what I said is everybody is born gifted. Everybody is born gifted. Okay. So I think if one can break through in smaller pieces, आपके पास 10 distractions हैं. हम ये नहीं बोल रहे हैं कि overnight आप 10 के 10 distractions को delete करो अपने system में से. नहीं. आप एक आप delete भी करेंगे, आपको positive चीजें सीखने की जरूरत नहीं होगी. वो negative चीजें निकाल दोगे तो positive तो आप में already है. Somebody I can see has written how to get rid of bad habits. See, there's something that you aspire to become. It can even be a singer, it can be just an artist, or it could be anything. But if you have a couple of dreams in front of you, but to achieve that, you have to do something, right? So you cannot delete everything. Seek help, very important. Keep a goal for yourself, have an ambition, find out which are those small little baby steps that you can reach. And every time you achieve one small step, treat yourself, pat yourself. Okay?
Ma'am, so coming up with the first question for you. Why is education more focused on rote learning than understanding mostly? If we don't write exact terms, we lose marks even if we wrote terms with the same meaning.
Okay, let me tell you. See, I go for, board exam corrections and all these. There are certain terminologies that are very important. Okay. जैसे आपको end of the day, end of the year, assessment is important to find out how much have you understood. I would not say rote learning is important, including even the, the headings or, probably definitions or something. आपको exactly लिखने की जरूरत नहीं है. लेकिन जो specific terminologies are there, that is very important. Don't rote learn. Right. Right. And solve and solve and solve. That's question a day. I call it as QAD. One question a day. RAD. Reaction a day. FAD. Formula a day. बस ये 3 चीजें करिए, you will be able to solve everything.
Okay, ma'am, I have one of my own questions. What is a habit that everyone pretends is good but actually isn't?
So children are overconfident at times. एक तो सब कुछ आता है. They feel they can buy time. God knows from where, कहाँ से. वो अगर खरीद सकते हैं तो मुझे भी बता दें थोड़ा सा. Even I'm falling short of some time for myself. Okay. Yes, I think these are the two aspects that are very, very important. And yes, one more thing is I am healthy. I know everything and I'm very healthy. This is another problem with the young teenagers. We want you to grow in a healthy, we want to see healthy future, healthy India. And you are the brand ambassador. I feel that one message that before I would like to, close on this question, I want to tell the students that you are the brand ambassador. You're the brand ambassador for your family, brand ambassador of your school. You're the brand ambassador of the city that you study in. You're the brand ambassador of the country. You're a brand ambassador of humanity. I think if you realize that, everybody's successful.
Ma'am, next question is how can we focus on learning instead of copying and not memorizing?
Only writing and writing. Write, reiterate that mantra, what I said some time ago, that you don't have to rote learn, you don't have to mug up, you don't have to do anything. One is going through, read your entire chapter. You have to assimilate, underline, highlight, annotate. And then you prepare on your own small little notes. Prepare your mind maps.
Ma'am, coming up with the last question, what do you think is a sign that you are on the right path of success or you are doing it right?
I think if you're honest with yourself, sky's the limit. You don't have to be worried or scared about anybody or anything in the world. And when you listen to your heart, when you know you have to hide something from even yourself, that means wo galat cheez. I think introspecting sometimes is very, very important. And you have to have your willpower and dream. I'm very excited and very happy for being part of Anon, and it's a joy to see so many students join the session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Your words were truly inspiring. We'd like now to call upon Bhaskar Gupta, ECLF.
Oh, hi everyone. Initially, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Nandita ma'am. And I really like कि ma'am said कि हम लोग के अंदर होती है अच्छी हैबिट बट इट जस्ट कवर्ड with bad habits. So, like initially, I would like to say कि since today is Independence Day, so let us ourselves take a pledge so that what we would be covering the pledge, like we should take ourselves that a pledge to remove all our bad habits so that we can become a better version of ourselves. And I would like to again thank each and every one of you for joining. It was so wonderful session for me, and I hope it was uh, even more wonderful session for all of you. Nandita ma'am, I'm really happy. I'm really glad that you could come up here and share a lot of thoughts, visions. And we are really honored that through your journey, through your thing, our students are learning so much. We are learning so much. And I just wish I had a school principal like you who can guide us this amazing way. And I just hope we keep continuing our amazing journey. We keep learning from you. And all of us keep growing, keep learning, and being away from those bad habits and making ourselves independent of those bad habits around us. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Bhaskar Bhaiya. Thank you so much all for joining today. Good night, everyone.